everyone. My name is Chandra Owen, and I'm from Boise, Idaho. And I'm going to give a speech about the importance of reading. So my question today is, how many of you like to read? Okay. How many of you read because you have to in some way, whether it's in school or at work? Okay, about the same. Well, I would fall into the category of reading because I have to. There were a few occasions where I picked up a random book and read it for enjoyment, but that was very rare. Although when I was younger, I used to love to read. There are many benefits of reading, such as strengthening your vocabulary, expanding your imagination, gaining new information for critical thinking, and for those who actually like to read, it can be a great hobby. So today I'll be informing you about those benefits. First, I will talk about why reading is crucial for students, especially young children, how it can make you smarter and wiser, and explain why people might enjoy reading. So why would reading be important for students? In 1942, Wilma Garnett, an associate professor of English, stated that reading is a powerful avenue of learning. Teachers want their students to understand how important it is to read. That's why we have textbooks full of information and hundreds of thousands of books. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, we had to do a lot of silent reading. And we had to track the pages of every week when we had to read. And trust me, I hated being forced to read, especially at a quick pace or with really hard reading levels and books that had no interest of mine. As I grew up, I realized how important reading was, because who wouldn't want to know how to read? It's kind of embarrassing. So reading helped me learn new vocabulary words, built my imagination, and helped me develop my brain. As a young child, we absorb information like a sponge, which makes our brain power expand. So when you are young, it's easier to learn new things rather than learning them later in life. That's why a lot of people can learn new languages at a younger age. But if there is no information for your brain to absorb, it dries out, so to speak. What better way to absorb information than by reading books? That's what brings me to my next point. As I was preparing for this speech, I was reminded of the joke, girls rule, boys rule. Girls go to college to get more knowledge, boys go to Jupiter to get more stupid. Kind of a mean joke, but I thought it was funny at the time. What I have found out in college is that there is a lot of reading, and it's hard to keep up with the classes if you don't read the information. When you read, you learn new vocabulary, and if you read something multiple times, you can actually memorize things. The more you read, the more you will know. The more you know, the more knowledge you have. This knowledge could help you in school, in your relationships, in your workplace, or in just your everyday life. Depends on what you want to learn. So this brings me to my last point. I'm sure some of you don't think reading is fun, but for others it can be one of their favorite pastimes. I've had to learn to get back in the habit of reading, and it was not easy, let me tell you. I could start a book and I would finish it months later. I did find that if a book I was interested in caught my attention right away, I had no problem finishing quickly. If I had to read for some reason, I found it difficult to find the motivation and usually would push it off. People who read a lot find it easy to get lost in a book. The story becomes real, the characters become personal, and the climax becomes emotional. Sometimes people get sad when they read and reach the end of the book and want to start all over again. Then there are some who feel really accomplished and happy about how the story ended. I read books where there was so much good information that I read it more than once, so I could learn something new each time. In order for a person to actually have fun reading, the story or information would have to be something of their interest. Reading is so crucial for people of all ages, especially children. But how many of you have seen a lot of people reading for enjoyment? A lot. in this present day. Motoko Rich, an author of A Good Mystery, Why We Read from the New York Times, wrote that people, particularly teenagers and young adults, are reading less for fun. At the same time, reading scores among those who read less are declining, and employers are proclaiming workers' deficit in basic reading comprehension skills. So as you can see, like Motoko Rich states, that people, especially young people, aren't reading for enjoyment as often. This would be a teacher's biggest fear. If kids start reading a lot at a young age, they will develop and grow in a healthy way. Their imaginations will grow and be healthy, and who knows, they might actually enjoy reading in the future. It's never too late to start reading and expanding your brain power. So I challenge you, give it a try, you might actually like it. Thank you for your time.